So let's have the child and adolescent learners, head start to toddlers, child and adolescent. In this module, you are expected to apply mga pedagogical approaches to student-centered teaching and learning practices or process. Okay, that is that involves metacognitive, innovative, inclusive, as well as developmentally appropriate for child and adolescent learners. What else? At the end of this module, you should be able to demonstrate understanding of the different teaching practices that suit learners' gender, strength, what else? Interests, experiences, and needs of our students. What else? You should be able to appraise a learning environment that is responsive to learners with various backgrounds, economic groupings, or socio-cultural affiliations. And you will be learning the different principles and theories about child and adolescent learners. Okay, so in this module, we will explore the evolution of learners from toddlers, okay, to young adults. So pag-aaralan natin yung stages of human development. Kasi before you become a teacher, before you practice the teaching profession, diba lagi kong sinasabi, you should know the nature of your learners. You should know the nature of your students. Okay? So, we will delve into the biological, what else, the cognitive, linguistic, socio-cultural dimensions ng isang bata that shape the growth and development of a learner. So, yung mga approaches, yung mga how to create student-centered learning environment, okay? Kasi kailangan lahat yon. So, as unit earners, or prospective teachers, it's a must also that you will equip yourself with the knowledge, with the skills, okay, to become effective facilitators of learning. Okay, so meaning you need to design developmentally appropriate learning experiences sa mga bata. So, dapat kilalanin mo yung mga estudyante mo. Okay? Kilalanin mo yung mga estudyante mo. So, it's time to know our learners. So, first, we will have the basic concept of this module. So, we will have first these basic concepts because in the context of child and adolescent development, growth, what else? Growth, development, maturation. These words are, they are distinct, but they are interconnected concepts because they describe different aspects of the changes, di ba, that occur sa isang bata na nagpo-progress siya from the different stages of life. Okay, so let's describe the following concepts. So when we speak about growth, it pertains to the physical change and increase in size that it can be measured quantitatively. Okay, physical change siya. So growth refers to the increase in the weight, increase in size in a child's body over time. So, pag nagkaroon ng changes na ganun, we call it growth. Okay? Because it primarily involves quantitative changes and it is often measured using metrics such as height, weight, head circumference. Okay? Anong mga example ng growth? yung, let's say, pag 5 kilograms, nag-increase siya into 10 kg. Kung na-measure mo siya, that is growth. Yung ngipin ng bata, nung una, isa, tapos dalawa, naging 10, naging kompleto, that is growth. Okay? So, illustrative examples like yung infant, nag-double ang kanyang weight after birth, or by 6 months, nag-triple, hanggang nag-birthday siya, indicating a growth in weight. Nag-grow siya during the first year of kanyang life. Okay? What else? Yung, halimbawa, sa mga pre-adolescent, during the puberty stage, yung mga bata, they experience a growth, let's say, spurt during, let's say, yung mga increase in height, biglang tumatangkad ang mga bata. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng increase in height. That is, kahit over a relatively short of time, that is an example of a growth. So anything, any changes in the body that can be measured quantitatively, that is a physical change, we call it as growth. Okay? Whereas development, this also involves increase in the complexity of function and skill progression. Ito naman yung capacity and skill of a person to adapt to the environment. So, ito naman, hindi siya na-measure quantitatively, but qualitatively. Ito yung about sa behavioral aspect of growth. Okay? Behavioral aspect of growth. Kasi, it encompasses now the qualitative. Sa growth kasi, quantitative. Ang development naman, qualitative changes sa kanyang cognitive, social, emotional abilities over time. Okay? What else? Pwede rin yung physical. Let's say, nagkaroon siya ng progress in skills, knowledge, and behaviors. Halimbawa, yung bata, yung maliit na bata, natuto siyang maglakad, ina-assist mo pa siya, tapos biglang natuto na siyang maglakad, takbo. Diba? So, nagta-transition from crawling, simple crawling, to walking. That's a part of his or her motor development. So, you can say na, nagde-develop yung bata. Kuha nyo? So, there is a change in skills, kumbaga. Kung yung bata ay natututo siyang preschool, for example, he or she learns to count. Diba? Anak, mag-count ka nga 1 to 10. Anak, ano to, letter to. Kung nakaka-recognize na siya ng letters, nakaka-engage na siya in basic problem solving, that is also cognitive development. Okay? So, all qualitative changes. So, yung pagkakaiba ng growth and development. Next, number 3, maturation. Maturation, changes pa din siya. But it occur relatively independent of the environment. So, usually considered, ito yung mga genetically programmed, yung result ng heredity. Okay? Because, maturation, pag sinabi mo, kailan ka ba magmamature, anak? Di ba? Napaka-immature mo. So, this refers to the biological process of a child's yung unfolding and progression sa kanyang physical and behavioral changes as they, let's say, occur with age habang lumalaki. But this process is often influenced by genetics and heredity. Okay? Halimbawa, yung kanina, yung example natin about yung ngipin. Pag pa-isa, 2, 3, tapos, di ba, matatanggal pa yun. Tapos tutubo ulit. So, yun yung mga predetermined sequence. Pero, magkakaroon din ng talagang, fix na hindi natutubo. Kasi, let's say, for example, yung ngipin natin ngayon, matured. That is an example of maturation. Kasi hanggang doon na lang, di ba? Nag-mature na yung ngipin. Nakuha nyo? Na pag natanggal pa yan, hindi natutubo. So, that is an example of yung development of permanent teeth. Maturation. Yung permanent siya. Okay? What else? During puberty, yung changes ng mga hormonal levels natin, yung sexual characteristics, maturation, those are examples of maturation during adolescence. Yung, tawag doon, yung meron ka ng menstrual cycle. Di ba, every month nang may menstrual cycle ang mga babae. So, that is an example of maturation. Kasi nag-mature na yung, yun na kasi yung tawag ng parang signal. Okay? That you are ready for adulthood. That you are ready for motherhood. Kasi once na nag-start kang niregla, pwede ka nang maging nanay. Kasi may mga matured eggs ka na, kumbaga, egg cells. Maturation. So, biological process siya. Okay? So, growth, development, and maturation. Kasi interconnected kasi itong tatlong ito eh. Para makuha nyo yung differences. Ito namang zone of proximal development. This is when the child acquires new skills and information with the help or assistance of an adult or an adult peer. Pag natuto ka, nag-develop ka with assistance at natuto ka ng bagong skill, then that is zone of proximal development. Okay? Kasi ito na yung may bagong kang na-acquire na bagong skills. Halimbawa, yung bata, pag hindi naman siya, meron bang case ng mga bata ay naglalakad na lang basta-basta, na walang assistance, walang help, ang magulang, ang maid, or ang iba? May mga assistance naman. Kahit yung bata na everyday pinapanood mo ng TV, ng mga nursery rhymes, ganyan. Tapos bigla-bigla na lang pag nagsalita siya, English. Yung mga bata dito, mga pinapanganak dito, ako, pag nagsalita sila mga English pa, mga accent ay British. Kasi, ang assistance doon is yung napapanood nila araw-araw. Kaya minsan, pag pinapanood mo, kumakanta din siya, ginagaya yung kinakanta niya. Okay? It is also important to note that itong growth, development, and maturation, interconnected sila ha, ito. Hindi naman nalaka-connect tong CPD. Ito lang kasi yung assistance, yung new skills na natututunan ng bata. Okay? So, halimbawa, paano natin i-connect to? During adolescence, yung mga nag-changes sa mga estudyante, especially kung ikaw ay advisor ng grade 6, grade 7, or even grade 5, yan yung start ng mga changes sa mga bata. Yung nagme-mens na sila, di ba? Yung nagkakaroon ng Adam's apple, yung bumababa yung boses, yung nag-change yung body structure. Okay? So, physical growth during adolescence, that is what we call as growth. But it can influence their cognitive development. Like, syempre, gumagaling sila sa ability to reason out, to think critically, to think abstractly. That is development. Okay? And which is influenced by the different hormonal changes sa kanilang katawan. That is maturation naman. Kaya sinasabi natin na interconnected yung tatlong yan. Okay? Another example, yung maliit na bata, pag lumalaki siya, pag nagkakaroon ng physical change during infancy, that can be considered as a growth. Pero pag natuto siya sa mga motor skills like grasping, sitting, walking, running, that is development. Okay? Which are also influenced by maturation sa kanilang nervous system, yung sa brain development. Kasi kung develop na yung brain, it follows din. Diba? Sa buong katawan. So that is maturation. So, yun yung point na nagkakaroon ng interconnection. Okay? And of course, kung with assistance, yan, pag natututo yung bata with assistance of somebody, then we can call it zone of proximal development. Kuha? Okay, let's proceed. What else? Heredity, environment. This is also important because heredity is the process of transmitting biological traits from parents to offspring through genes as the basic of heredity. Diba? Basic unit of heredity. Kasi makikita rin yung mga estudyante natin, hala, ang talino ng batang ito. Kaya pala magaling kasi yung nanay niya ganito din. Anak, ang ganda-ganda mo, ang ganda ng mata mo, ganyan. So, dahil sa heredity. Galing yun sa parents niya. Na na-transmit through the genes. Okay? Makikita mo, bakit kaya itong batang to ang ganda ng kanyang wavy hair? Itong isa naman kinky ang buhok. Itong isa blue eyes, brown eyes. Because of heredity. Kailangan din natin yung malaman. Okay? Para hindi tayo nagugulat. Diba? Hindi yung sasabihin, ang ganda mo anak, kamukha mo yung kapitbahay ninyo. Siyempre, pinsan pala niya yun. Diba? Okay, environment refers to the surrounding condition that influences growth and development. Very important din ang environment sa pag-understand sa mga estudyante natin. Diba? Malay natin yung mga bata, ganun pala ang actuations nila, ganun sila umasta kasi ganun pala ang kanilang ang situation sa bahay. Diba? Ganun pala ang environment. Bakit itong batang to ibang-iba ang kanyang ugali? Maybe because yun ang kanyang environment. Kasi it's a great influencer ang environment sa growth and development. Diba? Kung ang environment, let's say, nasa squatter area ka, compare mo sa mga batang nasa medyo mga gandang lugar, makikita mo rin yung pagkakaiba ng kanilang growth and development. Okay? So, yun naman ang heredity environment. Next is theory and attachment. Theory, these are ideas based on observations and other kinds of evidences which are organized in a systematic manner. Kasi, ito yung mga gagamitin natin. We will discuss different learning theories, different principles of learning, okay, that used to explain and predict the behaviors and development of children and adults. Makikita natin na, oo, kaya pala yung batang, kaya pala normal lang sa mga bata na maging, let's say, magkakaroon ng trust issue during this particular age kasi ganito pala. Dahil sa theory ni ganito, we will learn that also. And then attachment, this refers to the emotional bond to another person. It has lasting psychological connectedness between human beings. Okay? Those are just basic concepts sa ating module. So, I'm referring to the following theories. Pagkaaralan natin, like psychosexual theory ni Sigmund Freud, okay? Nasabi niya, there is sa personality development ng mga bata, meron silang changing seat of sensual pleasure. Okay? As well as psychosocial theory naman ni Erik Erikson na nagpo-focus sa interaction ng mga bata with the society on each particular age, on each of the stages of life. Na ano ang social, ano ang personality ng bata in terms of, let's say for example, interaction with society kung ganitong age. Okay. Diba? Halimbawa, yung bata, pag age ng, let's say, 15, 16, 17, doon nagkakaroon ng role confusion. Kaya minsan, ang effect nun ay, let's say, yung nagkakaroon ng identity crisis. Okay? That's a part of the psychosocial theory. And then cognitive development theory kay Jean Piaget naman. When you say cognitive, it has something to do with intellectual, with mental development ng mga bata. Nasabi niya, it suggests that children move from different stages of mental development. Okay? That on this particular age, ito ang mental situation ng bata, intellectual situation ng isang bata. Hanggang tumatanda siya, tumatalino siya. Moral development, okay? Ito naman kay Lawrence Kohlberg. I-discuss din natin ito isa-isa. Okay? It offers a framework for paano naman yung mga bata na mag-form ng kanilang moral reasoning. Okay? Through the different stages. Kailan ang bata ay matututong mag-follow ng rules sa community. Okay? Kailan siya, what else? Yung alam na alam niya yung mga different laws that governs the society. Pag maliit na bata, alam na ba niya yun? Paano siya mag-perform? Paano siya mag-construct ng kanyang moral reasoning? Okay? Nakapaloob yan sa moral development theory ni Lawrence Kohlberg. Okay? Ecological theory, what else? Developmental task theory. Ito naman yung psychological, ito yung about ang mga bata in all levels of the environment, kung sino yung mga nakapaligid sa kanya. Developmental task, kay Havighurst, sabi niya, each stage of the human development, meron dapat silang developmental task na kailangan i-satisfy, na kailangan i-develop. Otherwise, magkakaroon sila ng what we call this, magkakaroon sila ng implication later on. Okay? Let's say, for example, magkakaroon sila ng, kung hindi nila na-satisfy on this particular age, mag-deprive sila, yun, yung term, deprivation. Magkakaroon yun ng effect paglaki niya. Okay? Halimbawa, yung bata, at the age of 2, kailangan nang maturuan siya ng toilet training. Kung hindi siya marunong pang mag-toilet at 2 to 3 years old, paglaki ng bata, magiging messy, disorganized, ganun yung sinasabi sa theory sa developmental task. Kasama din yun sa psychosexual theory. Okay? So, lahat ng yan. Interpersonal faith development theory, we will discuss that, okay, as part of this module. Okay? Let's proceed. So now, after discussing the basic concepts, let's proceed to the principles of growth and development. So there are certain principles that we need to know. So like, for example, the fundamental principles of growth and development that will serve as, what we call this, foundation for prospective teachers. Like kayo, kahit sabi natin unit earners kayo, pero magiging teacher naman kayo in the future. Okay? So, understanding these principles is not merely an academic exercise. It is about building the very foundation upon which you will design and engaging learning experiences for the students. Okay? So, in the principles of growth and development, nandun pa rin yung heredity na sinasabi natin kanina and environment as great factors in influencing the growth and development of children, of our learners. Doon natin makikita yung significance of individual differences. Okay? Individual differences. So, by recognizing these different principles, you will be empowered to create, let's say, an inclusive learning environment that will nurture each child's unique potentials. Okay? So let's discover the different principles of growth and development. 1. Nature and nurture. So, meaning, development is influenced by both heredity and environment. So, heredity, yun yung natural. Environment, yung nurture. Okay? Kasi yung nature, yung heredity, the heredity is responsible for many of our physical characteristics like hair, eye color, facial features, di ba? And to some extent, kahit yung mga height, weight, yun yung heredity, yung namamana natin. Whereas environment, syempre, marami sa ating mga characteristics ng mga estudyante natin can be influenced by environment. Okay? Like yung mga lumaki dito sa abroad, compared mo sa mga lumaki sa Pilipinas ng mga bata, magkakaiba yung ugali. Kasi mag-base mo din yan sa environment. Diba? Be-base mo yan sa environment. Let's say, for example, imagine two Filipino children, both genetically predisposed to musical talent. Ibig sabihin, nasa lahi nila yun. Yung magaling kumanta. Okay? But one grows up in a musically rich environment with ample exposure to instruments, singing sa kanyang environment. Pero yung isa naman, the other lacks such opportunities. So the first child is more likely to develop musical skills or abilities. Kasi na-combine yung galing niya at saka na-hone yung potential niya because of the environment. Diba? Kaya usually yung mga magiging anak mo, anak ninyo, diba? Kung ang family kayo ng teacher, nakikita niya yung ginagawa ng teacher. Paglaki niya, gusto rin niya maging teacher. Kasi na-influence siya sa environment. Eh, yung iba naman, ayaw nilang maging teacher. Gusto nila maging nurse kasi nakikita nila sa mga napapanood nila na ganito, kailangan na ganito. Okay? Yung interest nila nagbabago. Kaya kumukuha sila ng nursing. Okay? So, it's nature and nurture. What else? Another example. Yung mga batang, let's say, shy ng mga bata, yung mahiyain. Okay? Kasi mahiyain naman talaga kahit mga magulang niya mahiyain. But if you can create a supportive classroom environment that encourages participation, yung that nagva-value ng individual contributions, can help overcome itong pagkamahiyain ng bata. That is nurture. Kung yung nature ng bata ay mahiyain, afterwards, hindi na siya naging mahiyain, then na-nurture siya sa environment. Okay? That is nature and nurture. Next, 2. Growth and development is a continuous process. Kahit sabihin natin na may similar pattern yung mga bata, like one stage of developmental lays the foundation for the next. Let's say, hindi siya man siya pwedeng tumakbo kung hindi mo na siya nagko-crawl and nag-walk. Kasi merong stage yan. So, it's a continuous process. So, as a child develops, he or she adds to the skill already acquired and the new skills become the basis for further achievement and mastery of skills. So, natututo siya ng natututo, pagaling ng pagaling. Kasi, ang growth and development, continuous yan. Okay? Like, a teenager, for example, let's say sa mathematics, sa algebra. Okay? So, yung foundational knowledge of arithmetic, it can demonstrate your continuous cognitive development. Diba? Kasi, kaya pinapa-memorize sa atin yung table of multiplication, kasi magiging foundation yan sa pagkakatuto mo ng algebra. Kung hindi mo na memorize yun, mahihirapan ka because growth and development is a continuous process. Kahit yung maliit na bata, di ba? A child learning to speak Filipino, hindi naman necessary na nag-start siya sa forming complex sentences. Bago naman siya magsalita, nag-start muna siya sa babbling, sa sounds ng letters, tapos single word, natututo na siya hanggang marunong na siyang create ng phrase, magsabi ng phrases, and eventually magiging fluent na siya sa pagsasalita. Ganun naman. Kasi continuous process lang talaga ang growth and development. Okay? Third is development proceeds from the head downward. Okay? We call that cephalocaudal principle. Direction of growth and development. Mauuna sa head, pababa. Diba, pag sa development ng bata, pag nakikita niyo yung fetus, ang laki-laki ng ulo, parang tadpole siya. And that proves na sa development ng bata, nag-uumpisa talaga siya sa head. Okay? Yun yung direction. Mahuhuli yung mga fingers. Mauuna yung ulo. Okay? Just like, for example, yung bata, yung infant, yung pagkapanganak ng bagong panganak, yung bata, ang control lang niya muna sa head. Diba? Yung head nila, ng neck nila, head muscle first, which allow them to look around na ganun, diba? And observe their surroundings. Wala pa silang nahuhuli na yung mga motor skills nila sa arm, legs, di ba? Yung bata, tingnan, i-observe mo yung bata pagkapanganak, yung pag-infancy stage siya. Hindi mo na yung nagagalaw yung katawan, yung kamay, paa. Una mo na yung head, maganon muna siya. Di ba? Pagtingin, ganon, lahat. Even sa pag pinapadede mo ng bata, pag di pa siya marunong mawak ng kamay, di ba? Sa head mo na siya gano'n. Okay? Even yung sa pag-process ng language. Okay? What else? Pagsusulat. A toddler sometimes learns to scribble muna, diba? Before they can write their names, okay? Before they can reflect the head-down progression of motor skills. So, development proceeds from head downward. Okay. That's one principle. Next. Number 4. Development proceeds from center of the body outward. So, this time, we call this the principle of proximodistal development. Okay? Mag-start muna siya dito sa center, sa spinal cord, before outer part of the body. Diba? Etong mga arms, mga fingers natin, nahuhuli yan na nagde-develop. Okay? Pati yung mga, pero, nauuna muna din yung hands or the feet before fingers and toes. Kaya development proceeds from center of the body palabas. Okay? Halimbawa, yung bata can throw a ball before they can master what you call this, yung fine motor skills needed for activities. Like, yung buttoning ng kanilang shirt, di ba? Or tying shoelaces, mahuhuli yun na matututunan nila. Mauna muna yung nakaka-throw siya ng ball. Okay? What else? Yung mga gross motor skills like running, jumping. Nade-develop yan before drawing detailed pictures. Because it proceeds from the center of the body outward. Okay? Mauna muna. Yung mga bata, they develop yung control ng kanilang dito sa katawan, yung torso, before fingers. Nahuhuli na nagagamit nila ang mga fingers nila. Kaya usually, yung mga baby, pag gumagalaw, nagro-roll over sila, di ba? Roll over, sit up, okay? Before they can grasp object with precision. Di ba? Nagro-roll muna sila. Hindi muna nila ginagamit yung kamay, yung fingers. Kasi nauunay dito sa gitna, palabas. That is, development proceeds from the center of the body outward. Next, development depends on maturation and learning. Maturation refers to the sequential characteristics. Ito yung about biological changes. So, it depends sa maturation and learning. Ibig sabihin, changes in the brain, in the nervous system accounts largely for maturation. Pag hindi ka pa mature, hindi ka pa masyadong magde-develop. Okay? Just like the example I gave you, a child cannot be toilet trained until their muscles and nervous system are mature enough. Okay? Regardless of how much training ang ibigay mo sa bata. Kung hindi pa ready yung kanilang katawan, di ba? What else? Yung pagtuturo ng pagsasalita, language acquisition sa mga bata. Okay? Kahit gaano mo siya tinuturuan na, let's say, in-expose mo siya sa language-rich environment, opportunities for practice. Although these are crucial for language development. Kung hindi pa siya ready, hindi pa siya matututo. Kaya minsan yung mga parent napaka-excited na 1-year-old pa lang pinapasok na sa, or 2 years old pinapasok na sa school. Pinipilit ng maturuan ng letters, numbers. Hindi pa niya task yun on that particular age. Ang from 2 to 3 years old, laro-laro lang muna sila. Wala silang pakialam muna, ayaw mo nilang matuto sa letters, sa number. Okay? Even yung pagbabasa. Unless, nasa maturation naman yun. Kung yung bata naman, kung magaling na talaga siya, mature na yung kanyang, di ba may mga batang ganun, 2 years old, nagbabasa na ng libro. Dahil, maagang nag-mature yung kanyang part of the brain, part of the brain na para sa reading. But generally, kung hindi pa nagmamature, hindi pa ready, hindi magde-develop yung bata. Hindi pa siya matututo. Because development depends on maturation and learning. Okay? 6. Development proceeds from the simple to the more complex. Children use their cognitive and language skills to reason and solve problems. So, ganoon naman tayo, di ba? Pag nagtuturo, yung pinaka-simple muna bago yung pinaka-complex. Okay? Kasi, ginagamit nila yung kanilang cognitive and language skills. Kasi kung di pa ready ang kanilang cognitive development, hindi naman talaga sila matututo. So, kailangan mo umpisahan sa pinaka-simple. Okay? Like, pagtuturo ng bata, learning to count. Diba? Counting. The children learn to count using their fingers muna. Okay? Before they will use abstract concept of numbers. So, pinaka-simple. Okay? Child learning about fractions. If you want to make it simpler muna, cutting of cake into equal parts before understanding yung mas mataas, yung mathematical representation ng fraction. So, development proceeds from the from the simple to more complex. Okay? 7. There are 8 principles lang. Tapusin lang natin ito. And then yung heredity, 4. Para makapag-start tayo tomorrow sa human development. 7. Growth and development proceed from general to specific. Oh, ito naman is from general to specific. Like in motor development, the infant will be able to grasp an object with whole hand before using only the thumb and four fingers. Because growth occurs, let's say, sa muscles, okay? Sa large muscle muna bago sa refined to a more refined muscle movements. Okay? Kagaya ng mga batang maliliit, diba? Yung initial movement nila ay uncontrolled. Hindi nila nakokontrol yung sarili nila, katawan nila, diba? But as they develop, their movements become more refined and purposeful. Okay? So, from general to specific. What else? Pag nagdo-drawing yung bata, pag unang hawak niya ng pencil, scribble muna sila, di ba? Hindi pa nila nakokontrol. But as they develop the ability to draw, they can make shapes already, recognizable shape and figures. Di ba yung mga bata, pag hawakin mo ng pencil, kahit sabihin mo, anak, can you make circle? Can you make square? Can you imitate this like that? Can you draw this? Kung hindi pa siya ready, scribble lang siya. Kahit anong gawin mo. Ganun-ganun lang, di ba? Kasi wala pa siyang control sa kanyang kamay. But as the child develop the ability to draw, nakakagawa siya ng magandang shape. Nakakagawa siya ng magandang figure. Okay? So it's from general to specific. Number 8. There are individual rates of growth and development. Meaning, each child is different and the rates at which individual children is different. Magkakaiba yan ng rate of growth and development. May mga batang mabibilis, may mga batang slow, kasi yun yung kanilang individual rates. Diba? So, pero meron naman talaga, kaya nga pag-aaral natin ang developmental task. That on this particular age, eto na dapat yung kaya nilang gawin. Okay? Pero nandun pa rin yung rates, yung bilis. Okay? Let's say, for example, sa klase nyo, some students might be reading fluently at the age of 6, while others make a bit longer to reach the same level. Di ba? May mga batang 3 years old pa lang nagsasalita na. Sa salita. Meron din mga batang worried na yung magulang kasi 6 years old na, hindi pa siya nagsasalita. Baka mute na yung bata or ano, di ba? So, magkakaiba kasi ang rate ng pag-develop, pag-grow ng bata. That's one of the principles of growth and development. Maghintay. Huwag din yung pilitin mo yung batang pumasok sa school kung hindi pa talaga siya ready. Kasi nga, different rate. May mas mabilis, minsan may mga excited ding mga bata. Minsan may talagang ayaw. Kasi hindi pa talaga siya ready. Okay? What else? Yung mga puberty. During the puberty stage. Okay? Yung may mga ibang batang ang agang magregla. Okay? But there are some who will experience it earlier or later than their peers. Meron pa nga yung isa, grade 8 na bago nag-menstruation. Yung iba, grade 5, nag-start na siyang mag-mens. Because of individual rates of growth and development. So, sa klase nyo din later on, there are children who will excel in certain subjects, while others might need additional support, highlighting the individual pace of learning. Merong mabibilis matututo. Merong pag nagtuturo ka ng math, meron yung iba doon ang bilis ma-pick up. Meron din yung isa kahit gaano mo siya pilitin, kahit paluin mo na kung talagang hindi pa niya talaga maintindihan. Kailangan pa niya ng mas maraming examples. Kailangan mo intindihin. Kasi yun yung kanyang processing mahina, kumbaga, mabagal yung kanyang process. Okay? So, those are the 8 principles of growth and development. Okay? First, nature and nurture. Growth and development is a continuous process. Development proceeds from head downward. Development proceeds from center of the body and outward. Development depends on maturation and learning, and development proceeds from the simple to more complex, and then development proceed from general to specific, and last, there are individual rates of growth and development. Okay? Tapusin lang natin itong next. Principles of heredity naman. Kasi, in the principle of reproduction, ito, number 1, like begets like. This principle centers on the ability of living organisms to create offspring and transmit their genetic information to the next generation. Hindi pwedeng like begets like means hindi pwedeng magkaanak yung pusa at aso ng offspring kasi hindi sila pareho. Okay? So, di ba may mga balibalita noon na yung nanay nanganak ng ahas, nanganak ng ganito, di ba? That's impossible. Because in the principle of reproduction, like begets like. Okay? Like, for example, the Filipino parents with brown eyes, they are more likely to have children with brown eyes. Kasi ito yung ipapass nila sa kanilang offspring, sa kanilang mga anak. Okay? Height, for example, is a heritable trait, meaning taller parents are more likely, okay? More likely are expected to have taller children. Okay? Unless when you check the ancestor, tapos biglang pandak yung anak, magugulat ka, baka sabihin mo hindi mo anak yung bata. Pero check mo, baka meron kayong ancestor na pandak talaga. Doon niya na i-pass on nakuha yung genes. Okay? What else? Certain diseases. So, kung let's say diabetic, ang mga magulang mo, may possibility din na maipapass on yun. Especially yung mga tawag doon, they are passed down genetically from parents to their children. That's principle of reproduction. Like begets like. Kung matalino yung parents mo, normally, matalino din yung anak. Okay? Next, principle of variation. Varies. No two individuals are exactly alike. So, magkakaiba. So, kahit may namamana tayong traits sa ating mga magulang, we inherit traits from our parents. Hindi yun identical copies. Okay? So, dito makikita yung individual differences. Kaya nga, di ba, even yung identical twins, kahit sa nating identical twins, galing sila sa iisang fertilized egg, mayroon pa rin pagkakaiba. Hindi pa rin sila exactly alike. Pareho sila ng physical features, pero meron pa rin silang pagkakaiba. Okay? Next, principle of chance. Ito naman yung it emphasizes the role of yung randomness in inheritance. Yung during fertilization kasi or genetic recombination, nagkaroon ng chance. Nagkaroon ng mutations. Yung chance dictates yung specific combination of genes. Yung kumbaga hindi mo inaasahan. Like dito sa example, magulang niya ay blue eyes, pero yung bata brown. Diba? Kasi during the fertilization process kasi, yung combination ng genes from, let's say, yung sperm and egg, nagkaroon ng randomness, leading to unpredictable variations in the offspring. Yan yung principle of chance. Nagkakaroon ng randomness na sinasabi in inheritance. Okay? Or sometimes, yung mga genetic mutations. Nagkakaroon ng changes sa DNA sequence. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng new traits. na ano sa individual, okay? Or predispositions in individual. So, yun, we can understand that through principle of chance. Okay? So, nagkakaroon ng specific recombination of genes. What else? Environmental factors din sa principle of chance, especially during pregnancy. It can also influence the fetal development. Okay? Na it can add element of chance to inherited traits. Magugulat ka na lang, ito pala yung offspring because of environmental factors. Okay? Kaya sabihin mo na wala naman kaming lahi ng ganito. Bakit kaya ganito ang wala naman kaming lahi ng ganitong sakit, ganyan. Okay? Yun nga yung principle of chance. Fourth, principle of dominance and recessiveness. Dominance, di ba? Dominante. Recessive, ito yung mas mahina, kumbaga. So, this principle explains how some genes exert a stronger influence on traits than others. Ito yung, kung meron kayong, di ba meron kayong biology naman nung kayo nag-aaral, especially pagdating ng genetics. Yung dominant genes express characteristics, let's say, mas, yun yung lumabas. Okay? Lumabas na trait. Halimbawa, dito sa mga drawing, yung nanay mo, curly hair, yung tatay mo, straight hair. Pero ang mga anak, karamihan, curly hair. So, ibig sabihin, mas dominant yung genes ng parents mo in terms of curly hair. Okay? Yun ang dominant na lumabas. Like a child inheriting one gene for brown eyes and one, let's say, yung blue eyes. Brown yung nanay mo, yung mata, blue eyes si tatay, brown eyes si nanay. Pero ang anak, brown. So, ibig sabihin, namana niya yung brown eyes sa nanay kasi mas dominant yung genes. So, when we say dominant, stronger yung influence. Yung isa, recessive, hindi naman siya weaker, pero recessive lang siya. Hindi lumabas, kumbaga. Kaya gaano mo pangarap, kung gusto kong mag-anak sana ng blue eyes, ganito. Kung mas malakas yung dugo mo sa brown eyes, puro brown eyes ang anak. Diba? Usually nakikita natin pag interracial marriages. Karamihan ng mga nakikimix na Pilipino sa other nationalities, mas dominant yung other nationality, di ba? Yung mga anak. Pero kung 4 ang anak niya, mukhang ibang lahi lahat yung 3. Yung isa, Pilipinong-Pilipino. O, yun naman yung nakuha, 25%. Yung 4 at 3 anak, puro featured na ibang lahi. Diba? That's principle of dominance and recessiveness. Pero kung lahat ng anak mo, kamukha ng other nationality, tanggapin mo na yung genes mo ay recessive. Diba? Weaker. Yung share mo, kumbaga, sa genes, mas siya. Okay? Same is true with genetic disorders. Okay? Yung mga, especially may mga sakit. Kung, let's say, di ba, hindi, kahit sa hindi sakit, halimbawa, yung nanay ay mute, yung tatay ay mute, parehong mute sila, pero nagkaroon sila ng anak na hindi mute. Okay? Ano yun? Pwede rin principle of chance, pwede rin sa dominance and recessive. Malay mo sa both parents niya, recessive yung kanilang mute genes, pero nakuha nila sa ancestor, yung anak na nagsasalita. Okay? Same is true with diseases. Kahit yung family nyo ay family of hypertensive, pero yung mga anak mo ay hindi mo na mana, kumbaga. Pwedeng nakuha mo sa ancestor. Okay? And last is the principle of sex-linked characteristics. Sex-linked, ibig sabihin nasa genes ng mga lalaki at sa babae. Okay? Usually kasi yung sex chromosomes. Okay? Halimbawa, itong pattern of baldness, parang kami, di ba? Lahat naman tayo, meron tayong genes for baldness, even sa mga babae. Pero ang genes for baldness talaga, kung may lahi kayo, lumalabas talaga lang yan sa lalaki. Okay? Kaya puro lalaki lang ang yung may baldness. May babae na bang bald? Pag meron, ano yun, sa principle of chance. But usually, sa mga lalaki lang. So, let's say yung nanay mo, may lahi sila ng baldness. May tendency na pag nanganak siya, sa lalaki, lalabas yun. Yung baldness na yun. Okay? Kasi it has something to do with the sex chromosomes. Kaya tinawag siyang sex link. So, it focuses on traits carried on by the sex chromosomes. Okay? What else? Yung color blindness. Color blindness is also a sex-linked trait more common sa mga lalaki. Okay? Yung color blind, yung puro ano nila nakikita mo green. Okay? Hemophilia. Yung sinasabi nilang royal, yung sakit ng mga royal blood. Ito yung parang blood clotting disorder. Is also a sex link more common in males. Okay? And many others. Yan yung mga sex link characteristics. So what then are the implications of studying principles, growth, and development? So it helps us to know what to expect and when to expect it. It gives the adult information as to when to stimulate and not to stimulate the child. Para mapaghandaan mo. Okay? Kagaya nung, yung sa mga, let's say, pag-advisor ka ng grade 6, grade 7, yun yung mga time na talagang re-reglahin yung mga estudyante. So, dapat alam mo na huwag ka nang magugulat ka pa, na surprise ka, hala, bakit? Ano nangyari? Kaya alam mo naman yung age ng mga bata, yun talaga yung age na So, dapat, pag ikaw ay advisor ng grade 6, grade 7, may mga prepared kayo doon na mga mga napkins. Kasi, it help you to know when to expect it. Okay? And it makes possible for parents, teachers, and others who work with children to prepare the child ahead of time for the changes that will take place in their body, their interests, their behavior. So, expect mo na magugulo ang mga bata pag nasa grade 7. Kasi, transition nila yun. Kung let's say childish pa sila, ibig sabihin, hindi pa nila naiiwan yung mga ugali nila nung elementary sila. Kung ikaw ay advisor ng grade 7. Pero pag advisor ka naman ng grade 10, expect mo na maraming issue about emotions, mga love life, relationship. Yung wag ka na magugulat kasi yun yung age kung saan lumalabas ang mga ganitong cases, mga situations. So, that's the implications for us teachers. Kasi, alam na natin na, okay, kasi yung pala ay principles of growth and development. Yung pala ay talagang, task na yun. Okay? So, it's 9:20. So, we will continue tomorrow with the stages of human development. Umpisahan natin yan from fertilization hanggang old age. I-discuss lang natin yung mga important points na kakailanganin ng isang teacher in understanding human development. Okay? Especially during school age. Saan ba dito ang school age? Dito, sa childhood hanggang adolescence. You should know kung anong mga ugali, pag-uugali, mga developmental tasks ng mga bata on this particular stage. Okay? Because we will be dealing with our students, our learners, maghapon, everyday yan sa school. So, dapat alam natin kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanila. Okay? Sa stages of human development.
Thank you so much for watching. Before leaving, please do click the like, subscribe and get notified button.